Warning, the following video contains opinions that are mine and not anyone else's. All viewers of Banditex are encouraged to form their own opinion and to not follow mine directly. Welcome back to Sonic Timber! Our good friends at Aspect are back for yet another crack at the Sonic the Hedgehog series with Sonic Chaos. This game is important for the 8-bit library because this is the first 8-bit Sonic game to not piggyback off an already existing Genesis game. This is a game I don't really hear too much about, probably for the fact that Sonic Adventure would introduce a character named Chaos later on, but also for the fact that it's an 8-bit Sonic game. These typically fall under the radar when compared to the Genesis ones. We're also going to be looking at the Sega Master System and the Sega Game Gear versions of this game, just like we did for Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. Can Aspect make an 8-bit Sonic game better than Sonic 1? Let's find out. The story once again sees Dr. Eggman trying to take control of South Island to build Eggman Land, with Sonic and Tails giving chase. However, Eggman this time has one of the 6 Chaos Emeralds. Well, that didn't take long, now did it? We're only 3 games in past Sonic 2 on the Genesis, and we're already back to having 6 emeralds instead of 7. So since Eggman has an emerald, naturally this would mean that he has the upper hand now. But trust me when I say that isn't important at all. All it really means is that there is less work to be done for the good ending. Sonic Chaos begins by letting you choose between playing as Sonic or Tails. Sonic is about the same as he's always been, only now he can perform the spin dash on an 8-bit game. And it works well enough. It lacks the revving, but it's snappy like in Sonic 2, and not like the weird one from CD. Speaking of CD, Sonic has the Super Peel out again, and this one is a little better than the Spin Dash, as it's faster, but Sonic cannot roll into ball form from it now, so there is a good trade-off. Tails cannot perform the Super Peel out, but can instead fly. By holding up and jumping, Tails can finally take to the skies and be controlled by the player. It sounds cool, but there aren't many things up in the sky, so it feels pointless. Still though, this is a good enough addition to the formula, as this sort of thing was very new to the series at this point. The only other change is that Tails cannot collect the Chaos Emeralds, so you're guaranteed to get the good ending with him. The overall game structure is similar to all the other classic era games, mainly the ones that have 3 acts in a zone. Like those, you go from A to B, get rings, and go fast. Sonic can use a few new tools to assist him in the levels, these coming in the form of rocket boots or spring shoes. These are better than the hang glider from 8-bit Sonic 2 as they appear in more levels, but aren't that exciting if you ask me. At least they're optional this time around. The biggest change Sonic Chaos brings to the 8-bit library are the special stages. To enter one, Sonic must collect 100 rings and he'll be warped to one. Now I've had a bit of a soft spot for special stages, as even though bad ones like Sonic 1's exist, there is at least a change in gameplay. Sonic Chaos doesn't really have a gameplay change, you just need to play a new level and find the emerald inside. Right out the gate, I don't really care for this concept because it feels kind of bland. As for the level design itself, it's pretty poor overall. Stage 1 is just Sonic using the rocket boots. It's pretty easy, but also just as easy to miss the emerald. Stages 2 and 4 are platforming based, with 2 being an annoying vertical climb with a strict time limit, and 4 having pits that will kick you out should you fall in. Stages 3 and 5 are a series of pipe mazes, with 3 being stupid easy, and 5 being a complete and utter mess. Seriously, whoever designed this one can go eat a butt. It's worth noting that playing a special stage will also send you to the next act whether you win or not, which is a pretty stupid oversight on the developer's end. I mean, what if I wanted to play the rest of the act I was in? Your reward for getting every emerald is a slightly different ending, and that's it. No super forms this time, likely as a result of this game having 1 less emerald than Sonic 2 on the Genesis. That is so freaking lame, dude. 8-bit Sonic 2 had a new zone at least for getting every emerald. It sucked, but it was at least an attempt at doing something new for the series. Sonic Chaos doesn't even have a special new zone to play. All you get is this nothing ending cutscene, which is somehow the weakest one thus far. So if the emerald portion of Sonic Chaos sucks, you're probably wondering, Banditex, why don't you just play the game casually, not go after the emeralds, and just accept the bad ending? Well yes, that is an option. What this means is that you remove something from Sonic Chaos, and what this ends up doing instead is revealing another major issue that I have with this game. That issue being that Sonic Chaos has a really mediocre lineup of levels. The big problem is that every main act can be finished in under 30 seconds. While there are acts in other Sonic games that are like this, those all required a lot of skill and knowledge of the game's mechanics and learning the level layout. It wasn't all about holding right and just tapping the buttons at the right time, since rolling and momentum were so integral to great times like that. Sonic Chaos's levels can be cleared in about a minute by the most inexperienced players, which results in a game that just isn't very interesting to play. Some zones do try some exciting things, but none of that gets a chance to make an impact, all thanks to the minuscule length. You can either squeeze out a little more game time by suffering through the terrible Chaos Emerald hunting, or you can just blast through everything with ease and little thought. There's no in-between with Sonic Chaos. And what that means is this is one of the most uninteresting Sonic games I've ever played. Not just for Sonic Timber this year. At least the game plays fine, right? Though Sonic still has that roll jump boost from 8-bit Sonic 2. I don't even have much to add for the graphics and music. It's a fine and looking sounding title, so I can't complain too much. It is another 8-bit title. Obviously it won't win any awards compared to Sonic CD, but it does all look fine from a distance. Speaking of fine, the bosses have seen an improvement. Sonic can finally collect rings in Act 3 in an 8-bit game, so the boss fights are no longer one-hit bouts. There is a fair bit of variety in the fights, which are against bigger badniks again, but these are all incredibly easy. Previous 8-bit titles required a lot of waiting at the right time to land hits, but these take the Genesis approach instead, by making you wail on the bosses until you win. Some of these battles are just stupid though, like this thing in Mecha Green Hill Zone, which can just be bounced on with little skill involved. Yeah, Mecha Green Hill. This game is on South Island, remember? The Eggman fight is alright, I guess. It is pretty tricky, but I don't get the whole last hit thing. You see, after destroying his Proto-SA2 mech, Eggman tries to run you over with his hovercraft. Should you get hit once, you die, even if you brought rings with you. Sonic Chaos is simply not that fun of a game to play in my opinion. What is here is perfectly fine, it's not broken after all, but thanks to the pitiful stage length and the stupid Chaos Emeralds, this game is just one I don't come back to very often. I give Sonic Chaos on the Sega Master System a 5.5 out of 10. Real quick though, before we wrap up today's episode, let's take a quick look at the Game Gear version. Like I said at the start, this game was also ported to the Game Gear, with the only real change being that the game is harder to see thanks to the smaller screen. I give this version a 5 out of 10. While the game itself is easier than Sonic 2 on the Game Gear, the game is just a more unfair version of an already mediocre game. This is once again the most common version of Chaos. I really don't get why Sega can't just give us the Master System versions anymore. This was okay for 8-bit Sonic 1, but Aspect just didn't do a good enough job optimizing their games for the Game Gear, and that's why I find this so frustrating. Wow, these 8-bit games are simply getting worse. Which is a shame because 8-bit Sonic 1 was so much better than all of these. Maybe Aspect should have just stopped at 2, as they haven't really been proving themselves worthy thus far. Thankfully, this is our final game from them this year on Sonic Timber, but that also means we're done with today's episode. So, what's next? Originally I was going to cover Sonic Spinball as well as Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. However, I made the decision to scrap these two episodes for time. Instead, in tomorrow's episode, we're going to be jumping straight to Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on the Sega Genesis. Will this last episode of Sonic Timber 2022 end with a bang? You'll have to find out tomorrow. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Banditex. I'll catch you in the next one.